Hi everyone, welcome back to another fun and exciting project. For today's project I want to show you how to make this or turn this piece into a bracelet. You could obviously make a pair of earrings because they are done in a component, but I'm starting to really like these components, and this looks really stunning on the wrist, as you can see in the camera. It's got nice little holes here. You can fill those in with Monties or pearls or whatever you want, but I kind of like the uniqueness of it. So I'm going to call this oval lace bracelet because it does kind of look lacy and it's really, really pretty. Now I did do it in some really fun colors. As you can see, I've got these new check Firepolish 3mm in the purple, and those are really, really pretty beads. I don't know if the camera will do it any justice, but they are gorgeous. And we're using the new Tango Beads that I ordered, and I did post a link on iBead4You just so you guys can see how much they were and maybe get a color or two. And they come in these really fun tubes. They're like this from Beadaholic. That's where I found them. And they were really reasonably priced, so I was quite pleased with this. So I'm using today in a turquoise. So for each component, I'll give you the amount you're going to need for each component. Alright, so for the Tango beads, you will need 4 for one component. For the 3mm in the purple Firepolish that you can see I have here, you will need 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Now I wanted to show you this, but in a minute. For the mini SuperDuos, you're going to need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So let me grab 10. I'm just going to put them aside. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So you're going to need 10 SuperDuos. You're going to need 2, 4, 6, 8 3mm Bicones. So let me get 8 out here. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8 3mm Bicones. And you are going to need an 11/0 seed bead and a 15/0 seed bead, but I ain't counting them. If you want me to get really technical, I could count them for you, but you're going to need more 15/0s than you do of an 11/0. Now I am using a size 12 beading needle and 6-pound smoke fireline because that's what looks good with my project, because I have the darker colors in here and you ain't really going to see any thread anywhere. So I want to show you how to make one of these components and how to attach it to your bracelet and continue making the same thing. So it's just a repetitive component, and it's so easy and quick to make up because you can see it's kind of lacy. So this is going to be a really fun project. Now let me show you the difference between a regular SuperDuo and a mini SuperDuo. And let me just bring my camera up so you guys can see how tiny the mini ones are. So there's the difference. This is a regular and this is a mini. So they are quite a bit smaller, but they are really cute to work with. You're also going to need some kind of a closure. My husband went to see if he can find me a cup button in the color that I'm working with in the Tango beads, so hopefully he can find me that. Now to get started with this project, I've got all my beads ready here and dumped, ready to go. Let me just move them out of my way so I don't knock them off my desk here. Did you find one?
No.
Well, I don't have a cut button in the color that I wanted. Darn. Let me see what we have here. I don't got a turquoise cut button, really.
It doesn't really match.
Oh, well this one does. This is perfect. So we'll use a cut button for a closure. And that does match pretty good. What do you think? Alright, now can I have that tangle bead? Yep. Thank you. Alright, so I'm going to use this cut button, and I think it matches pretty darn good. Close enough, right? Now, to get started, the first thing we want to do is probably, I don't know, I hope there's enough lighting and you can see what I'm doing. As I see a lot of shadow. I have 4 lights here, and I don't know how much better I can make this, but I see really a lot of shadow. Let me set this up. Okay, so I've strung about, I don't know, maybe a yard of fireline because I want to make 2 components. So you can just leave, you can use the leftover thread. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick up an 11/0, a mini SuperDuo, a 15/0, a mini SuperDuo 11/0, a mini SuperDuo a 15/0, a mini SuperDuo 11/0. Come on. A mini SuperDuo, a 15/0, and a mini SuperDuo. 1, 2, 3, an 11/0, mini SuperDuo, 15/0, and a mini SuperDuo. So on your needle, you should have this. You should have 4 groups of mini SuperDuos with a 15/0 between each one of them, and 11/0 between the 2 groups. Okay, so I've started with an 11/0 here. I don't need to end here. So we're going to just bring this down to our end of our thread here. And we're going to tie a little knot. Just a little guy. Don't tie too tight. But careful you don't snag your 11/0 in there as well. Come on, you. Don't do this. There we go. And pull. And this is what you have, is a little wee tiny circle with your little mini SuperDuos, like that. Okay? Now you're just going to go through all your beads again. Pulling and holding one end of your tail. I'm still going through the bottom holes of the SuperDuos. I'm not moving up yet. I'm just reinforcing this ring. Going through it like so. So I'm going to go past my knot, and I'm going to exit into the SuperDuo, but make sure you exit into the SuperDuo that's between the 11/0s. So don't exit in the middle of your SuperDuos here, okay? Like this. So there's my 4 11/0s, and I'm exiting on this side of the 11/0. So now you're just going to bring your needle up and go into the top hole of your mini SuperDuo. Let me see, I might have to bring this up a wee bit. Like this. And now we're going to add our tango bead. Now, with these tango beads, you can see there's 2 holes on the long side and 2 holes on the short side. So they're kind of cockeyed weird. They're shaped like this, like a like a half a square. Okay, so they're weird shaped. But putting these onto your component, you have to place them properly or your component's not going to turn out. Okay, so they have to go on properly. Now I'm between the SuperDuos that has the 15/0 in the middle of it. So I want, what you should do is just take your 2 see the bottom ones on the short side of the triangle. You're just going to place it right there so it looks like this. And then on the long side, you have your 2 holes there. So if you place it in your work, then you will know how to pick it up with your needle. So I know I need to come through this hole because this is exactly how I want it to sit. So I'm going to come through the first hole like this, put this on, and place it properly in there, like that. See? Then you're going to put your needle through the top hole of the next SuperDuo, and this will place it perfectly in place like that. So now I have the long end facing towards me. And I hope you guys can understand that. You will if you had a tango bead in front of you. Then you're going to pick up a 3mm Firepolish. And then you're going to exit into the next SuperDuo. And this will be the Firepolish will be between where the 11/0 is. So it'll be sitting right above the 11/0. So if you're sitting above the 11/0, then you know you're doing it right. So now we're going to place the other one, and we want them to face each other. So you're going to go this way and place it like this. So you can see that it's going to sit in there properly. So my holes are over here, and my holes are over here on this side. So I'm just going to stick my needle through it like that and go through the mini SuperDuo as well, like this. And pull that and place that in there. So that's how that's placed. Then you're going to pick up a 3mm Firepolish, and you're going to exit into the next SuperDuo like this. Now we're back at the corner here where we need to put another tango bead in, and we want it to be exactly the same as this one. So this is where you're going to get a little bit confused, but as you can see, you want your bottom, you want the smaller hole, the smaller side of the triangle outward, and the longer side going inward. But my holes are down on the bottom, so I'm just going to put my needle through there and through the SuperDuo. Give it a pull, like that, and place that one in there like that. And we've got a funky shaped 3mm. Alright, so pick up another 3mm, and you're going to exit into the next SuperDuo. Like that. Okay, now you're going to do your last tango bead. I'm going to repeat this one more time. I'm going to go through this twice just because it is really complicated to figure these beads out at first. So what you're going to do now is stick that in the place where you need it. I'm coming out of the SuperDuo, so you know I've got it here. The holes are on it like this, so this is the way I have to pick it up. And then you're going to go through the mini SuperDuo like that and place that one there. And then you're going to pick up your 3mm, and then you're going to exit right through the mini SuperDuo, back through the tango bead, back through the mini SuperDuo, and into that Firepolish. There is where you want to be. Okay, so I'm just exiting here. So I'm going through the mini SuperDuo, the tango bead, placing that, giving it a good tight pull. Then I'm going through the mini SuperDuo, and now I'm into that first Firepolish we put on. And that's where you want to be. Okay, and give it a good tight pull. And that's what you should have. An alien. It's a Martian. Alright, so now you're going to need 4 of your, or 8, all of your 3mm Firepolish. Okay, you're going to need all of these. So get those in the picture. And you're going to need 15/0 seed beads. So I'm just getting them close to by. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to pick up a 15/0, a 3mm, and a 15/0 on your needle like this. All you're going to do is go into that second hole now of the tango bead. So here's the second hole, and it's gonna go, oopsies, and we've got it. Look at that, it was plugged. I haven't found a plugged SuperDuo yet, those mini ones. maybe they won't be. And then you're just going to give this a good tight pull. Now you're going to pick up a 15-0, a 3mm, and a 15-0, like this. And then you're just going to go into the fire polish and exit into the fire polish like this. Pick up a 15-0, a 3mm, and a 15-0. And you're going to exit into your tango bead, the second hole of your tango bead. And give it a good tight pull. Now you're going to pick up a 15-0, a 3mm, and a 15-0. And you're going to exit down into the 3mm fire polish like that. 15-0, 3mm, and 15-0, and into your tango bead. A 15-0, a 3mm, and a 15-0, and into the fire polish. And then a 15-0, a 3mm, a 15-0, and then into your tango bead, like so. And now your last 3mm, so you pick up a 15-0, 3mm, 15-0, and then you're going to exit through the fire polish, and then you're going to go through the 15-0, the 3mm, and the 15-0 right there where you're exiting. So that's where you want to be, exiting out of there. Okay, so this is what you should have so far. Isn't that cute? Now you're going to need 2 more of your fire polish. You're going to need a SuperDuo. And now you're going to pick up a 15-0, a 3mm, a 15-0, and 1 mini SuperDuo. So that's what you should pick up. Let those fall. And you're exiting out of this 15-0 up here. You're going to put your needle, drop down and put your needle through that little other end of other hole of your mini SuperDuo. Then you're going to pick up a 15, a 3mm fire polish, and a 15. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go into the 15-0, right across from it, into the 3mm crystal, and into the 15-0. And you're going to sit that on there like that. Then you're going to go through the fire polish and you're going to reinforce this whole entire area once. So I'm just going through here, all these beads again, up through there, and I'm pulling it nice and tight because then it'll sit nicely. Now I've gone through it and I could see where my tail thread is exiting right here in this where are we? I want to drop down into the beads, but I want to go on the other side so I can see where my tail thread is, because I'm going to match up with my tail thread tied in a knot and cut it off. Okay, so I'm exiting out of the fire polish, so that means I need to go through the mini SuperDuo, pulling tight, and then drop down in the bottom. And now I'm exiting right where my tail thread is, and I'm going to tie these off. They've already been tied off once, but you know, extra security doesn't hurt anything. So let's give them a good tie. Okay, that's tied off. So now we need to get over here. Doesn't matter which side you come out of, just as long as you come out of one of these 15-0s between these tango beads. So I'm just going to work my way around here in the bottom, and I'm going to pull that knot inside and cut this tail right off. And that's done. Now, continuing to go around so I can exit And that's why it's beneficial to use a size 12 beading needle, because you can get into these very small crevices. Now, if you have to go through the bottom like I'm doing, you can come right up in the SuperDuo. In the second hole of SuperDuo, as long as you're using thread that you can't see. So now I'm just going to exit into the SuperDuo, the second hole, into the Firepolish. And I don't know if I snagged the 15. Oh, nope. The 15, the Firepolish. And now I'm exiting again out of the 15. So you just work your way around till you're exiting out of here. Okay? Now we're going to attach it to our bracelet. So what you're going to do first is you're going to pick up a 15, a 3mm Firepolish, and a 15 on your needle. I'm at my other end of one of my pieces, so I'm just going to go into any one of these holes because there's no front or back to this bracelet, it's the same. And I'm going to go into just that mini SuperDuo. And this is where you will definitely need to use a 12, size 12 beading needle. Then you're going to take your needle and go back down the other hole of that mini SuperDuo. If it'll let me. Like so. Okay. So just go back down, pull it tight. Now you're going to pick up a 15, a 3mm and a 15. And then you're going to go back down your component you just made. You're going to go down the 15, the 3mm and the 15. On the base. And then you're just going to reinforce this whole entire area again, pulling it nice and tight. So I'm just going through all these beads, what I just did, retracing my threads, path, don't change the thread path, pull it tight, and then through the SuperDuo. Make sure you do not skip any of those 15-ohs, because it'll push them out of place if you don't grab them too. Alright, so there is one component very easily made. So now we have 5 components on our bracelet. And they move along really fast. This is an absolutely gorgeous bracelet. I love these 3mm Firepolish, or these 3mm Bicones, these Swarovski Bicones. I don't know what color they are. They're just a gorgeous color. Anyway, so now what you're going to do is you're just going to tie this off. So I'm going to go through some beads here. I'm going to tie one right off here at the Firepolish, because then I can hide the knot in there. Okay, so I'm wrapping my thread and doing a surgeon's knot, pulling it tight, and then I'm just going to work my way around. And see, I'm going to go down into the SuperDuo area and pull that knot inside. So I pulled the knot inside, and then there's a SuperDuo here, so I'm going to go through the SuperDuo and the Tango bead like this, and between the SuperDuo and the Tango I'm going to tie another half hitch knot. So I'm wrapping it, pulling it ever so slowly, and through there again, and pull tight and hide your knot inside your bead. Okay, and I think I'll just do one more for good measure. So I'm going to go through this mini SuperDuo like this, and then I'm going to tie a knot between the SuperDuo and the Tango bead like that. Pull it small, and then I always wrap it twice just for extra security. Twice, and pull it slow and pull tight. So now I'm just going to go through some beads, and I'm going to cut my thread off because it is done. And then I'm going to reuse this piece, but I'm actually not going to show you how to make another component because that's just going to waste camera time when you guys can just rewatch the video and start all over again to do another component. So what I'm going to do is go over here, and we're going to put a cut button on one end, and when I attach the last component, I'm going to come back and do another component and attach it here by adding the cut button hole beads to go around the cut button. So I'm just having a little difficulty here. There we go. Now you want to exit out of your mini SuperDuo. Now we're going to put a couple of crystals in here and some beads. So I'm going to pick up no, I'm going to use 15-0s. So I'm going to pick up 2 15s, a crystal, 2 15s. I'm going to pick up a mini SuperDuo. Then I'm going to pick up a 15. And then I'm going to pick up my cut button, like this. And what should we put on top of our cut button? Let's put a mini SuperDuo on top of our cut button. Let's see if that fits. Yep, it does. And then I'm going to just go across. Actually, I'm going to put 2 15-0s on top, just so you don't see my thread going across the top. Okay, so I picked up 2 15s. So I'm going to go down the second hole of that and into the cut button like that. And then I'm going to pick up a 15, go through the SuperDuo that's we put on. Then I'm going to pick up 2 15s, a crystal, and 2 15s. And then I'm just going to exit down into the mini SuperDuo that's on my bracelet like that. And then let's give this a good tight pull. So there's an end of our cut button that's on. Kinda don't like those. Should have put 3. I'm gonna put another one up there anyway, because 2 doesn't look right. So now you're just gonna go around and, of course, you know, reinforce. It's always the rule of thumb. So I'm just going through all the beads on one side of the cut button. And it's snagged on the 3mm. Give it a good tight pull. Nice and tight. Now I'm going to go through only one of these 15s. And I'm actually going to stick an 11-0 in there because it's quite a big, huge space. Then I'm going to go back down the 15, the cut button, or SuperDuo, the cut button, and then all down the other side. Making sure I do not miss any of those beads. Any of the 15s. Nope, everything looks good. Yeah, so that sits really nice up in there, like that. Kind of looks dumb, but okay, you don't have to do that. And then into the SuperDuo. And there's your cut button attached. You don't have to do this, but it does look kind of, looks okay. And of course you're going to go a third time around, and then you're going to tie your thread off again. I was going to tie this thread off, I already did, but I'm going to have to do it again now. And we are going to reinforce one more time, because I like to reinforce. nothing worse than having your knot come apart and your bracelet fall apart. So when you make your pass up through your cut button, make sure you snag your SuperDuos, because it's going to be real hard to get needle in there. And which side? Screw it. I'm just going to go through it. And back down. Ouchies. Alright, there is our third and final time for reinforcing. Alright, I know you didn't see me doing that. I was probably out of camera view, but you didn't really need to see me reinforce. So what we're going to do now is tie off. So I'm just going to go through the 15-0 first, just because the knot probably won't fit in that 15, so it'll fit in the 3mm. So I'm tying off right here, making sure my thread's in there, and pulling super loose, and tight, tight, and pull it in. Yeah, it's alright. I'm just going through beads, and then I like to stick a knot in the all the bigger beads. So anything with a bigger bead, do a knot in front of it, and then you can pull the knot inside. So right after your 15-0, you're going to stick a knot in there. Okay, so let me go through some beads, and I'm just going to cut this thread off. So one side of our bracelet is done. Alright, we've got our component done. So there you go. Really fun, easy project to do. It's a really cute bracelet. I don't know how well this cut button's gonna sit, but I'm sure it'll hold very well. It does match pretty good. Okay, so what you're gonna do is make another component. You're gonna make as many components as you're gonna need for your size of your wrist. As you can see, this doesn't quite fit. So I will lengthen mine by doing this on the other end before I put my loop on, because this isn't going to fit. I'm going to make another component and check it with another component. If it fits good, then I'm just going to make a string that I could, a loop to put around my cut button. So I don't know, maybe I should do one more, just because I probably went out of camera view. And start all over again. I have a really funny shaped, if I had a file I would file that down, but I don't have a file. Alright, let's do it, get it over with. Pick up an 11-0, mini SuperDuos, 15-0, mini SuperDuos, 11-0, mini SuperDuos, 15-0, mini SuperDuos, 11-0, mini SuperDuos, 15-0, and a mini SuperDuos, 11-0, mini SuperDuos, 15-0, and a mini SuperDuos. Okay, so this is what you picked up. Everything's moving around on me. Oh, great. So we're not even in camera. This is going to be challenging. I hate doing my videos this way now because it's really hard to see if I'm in camera. Anyway, you start with 11-0. You don't need to finish with 1. If you didn't put 11-0 first, you're going to end with 11-0. So it's just that simple. And then you're going to pull it down and tie a knot. course, I'm gonna snag every bead in there. Of course. Damn. Alright, let's try this again. So I'm tying 2 overhand knots. Not snagging any beads. Pull tight. There we go. And then you're going to go through all these beads again. Okay, so go all the way around and exit out between a SuperDuo here, between the 11-0, not the 15-0. I'll come back. Okay, so I'm exiting out of the bottom of this mini SuperDuo between the 11-0. Now bring your needle up into the top hole of that SuperDuo, and then we're going to work with the Tango Beads and our Firepolish. Now you're going to pick up your Tango bead and line it up the way it's supposed to. So I'm lining mine up this way, and then I'm just going to bring my needle through that hole so I know I'm picking it up the right way. And then I'm just going to go through the SuperDuo like that and place that in there. Pick up a 3mm, go through the next SuperDuo. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I found a blocked SuperDuo. Shit. I'll be back. It's blocked. Okay. So what I had to do was I had to take this whole thing apart. So lesson learned. There's my blocked SuperDuo. You're going to have to check the mini ones just like you have to check the bigger ones. So continuing on, I put my one piece in. I was picking up a Firepolish at the time when my SuperDuo was blocked. So I'm going into the next SuperDuo, placing that there. And now we're going to place our next triangle Tango bead, and that's how you want it placed. So always put it in place and then right through like that. If you put it in place like that, it's going to be a lot easier and you're never going to mess it up, because you know that's how the direction it has to go in. Pick up a 3mm, go through that. Now we're at our other corner. I lay my project down, check where my holes are. See, you could place it this way, but as you can see, if I place it this way, it looks right, but the holes are over here. I need my holes here, so all I'm going to do is flip the bead around like that. Now my holes are at the bottom here, and I'm going to go through that in the SuperDuo and pull it in place. Pick up a 3mm into the mini SuperDuo. I just love these mini SuperDuos. So again, Tango bead, my holes are here. I'm going to go through my Tango bead and my SuperDuo, placing it there, and pick up your Firepolish, and now you're just going to go through. I have to pick this up. It's hard to work on the flat ground. I need to exit out of that 3mm, so I'm just going through the mini SuperDuo and the 3mm and pull. And this tail drives me to drink. So actually I'm right here. I think I'm just going to go down, back out of this Firepolish, and I'm going to tie it off and get rid of that tail, because it's driving me nuts. And I'm right close to it anyway, so you might as well do it while you're right there. And then when I pull my knot, it's going to go inside the 3mm. Like that. Alright, now let's exit out of our 3mm, and we're good. Pull it in, and now I can't cut it off because my scissors are out of my reach. Oh well, I'll have to drink coffee. Alright. Now, we're going to work with our crystals and some 15-0s. So you're going to pick up a 15-0, a crystal, and a 15-0. You're exiting out of your 3mm, go up into the second hole of your tango bead, like that. Okay, 15-0, 3mm, 15-0, and down into your fire polish. 15-0, 3mm, 15-0, and into the tango bead. And if this starts to cup on you, don't pull it super tight. Tight. Okay? Don't want it to cup. 15-0, 3mm, and a 15-0 into the fire polish. 3mm, or 11-0, or 15-0, 3mm, and a 15-0 into your tango bead. Like that. Place that in there. 15-0, 3mm, and a 15-0. And into your fire polish. 15-0, 3mm, 15-0, and into your tango bead. I haven't found any tango beads that were blocked. That tail, wow, drives me to want to drink. 15-0, 3mm, and a 15-0, and into your fire polish. Okay, so now we're on the ends where we want to be. We want to be exiting out of this 15-0 right past your 3mm crystal. So I'm just going to work my way through the 15-0, the 3mm, and the 15-0. Like that. Okay, now you want to complete one side before you attach it to your bracelet. Like we did previously, we picked up a 15-0, a 3mm, a 15-0, and a SuperDuos, and I'm going to check it, and I'm going to bring those right down. Now you're going to put your needle into the second hole of that mini SuperDuos. You're going to pick up a 15-0, a 3mm, and a 15-0, and you're going to go down the other side, like, it's hard to see, that 15-0. I might have to pick it up. There we go. Oh, of course, when I get it. Alright, so I've gone through the 15-0, the 3mm, and the 15-0. Now I'm going to go through the fire polish, and I'm going to pull this tight. Okay, so now you're going to reinforce that. Nice and snug tight. Oh, this tail. And I've only gone through this twice, so that's okay too. So now we're going to work our way around to the other side. That's done twice. So I didn't go through the 15-0 after I exited this 3mm because I'm going to go this way now. I'm going to go into the SuperDuos and the tango bead. And I'm going to continue that pattern all the way around. Well, it doesn't really matter which bead you go in, just stay in your thread path. Alright, so now I'm exiting out of the tango bead. I got to go all the way through these beads, so I'm exiting out of that 15-0. I don't want to be exiting out of the tango bead. Keep my project consistent. Oops. And 15, come on. Alright. Finally, okay. There we go. Now, we're going to attach it to our bracelet. So let's pick up a 15, a 3mm, and a 15. And we're just going to grab one end of the other end of our bracelet, and we're going to go down just the SuperDuo. Okay, and then you're going to go back down the other side of that SuperDuo like this. Then you're going to pick up a 15, a 3mm and a 15, and now you're going to go all the way around through, well, all the way through these beads here, and then you go through the Firepolish, and I'm going to go through it and reinforce it, of course. So I'm going through every bead I just put on. And then I'm going to go all the way around and exit out of here, and I'll come back. Okay, now I am going to go straight into making this because it is going to be too big. So I'm just going to make the loop. I don't need to add anything extra in here, just because I want it to not fall off. So it is already hitting that. So it's already going to be loose. So I'm just going to go straight into picking up 15 O's. I don't know how many we're going to need for a cut button, so I'm just going to put a bunch on here. I'm going to need 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Let me see, whoops, how good 35 is. Makes it is much smaller, but all I'm going to do is kind of go, no, I don't want to go through that 50 now. I'm going to try this, pulling it tight, and see if my cup button fits snugly. It is kind of tight, but I don't want any more room in here. So that's good enough. I'm going to go right through and reinforce these again. So all the way through all these 15s. Alright, there's 2 times. And now that I've gone through it 2 times, let me just see how well this is going to do up. Perfect. It is going to be a bit too big. I already know it is. Well, not too big. But it is a bit big, but it's okay. It's gorgeous. I love it. I love these colors. All right, one more time. Reinforce for the 3rd time. I always reinforce, especially toggles or cut buttons and beads. And I'm only using 6-pound fireline, so you definitely want to go through this 3 times. I love my bent needle knot. Like that. Alright, time to tie off. So I'm tying off at the Firepolish. Once and twice, and pull it tight. Go through the Firepolish and the 50 and then I'm going to tie off at this Tango bead. So 1, 2, buckle my shoe and pull it tight in through the Tango bead. I'm not going to tie off at the crystal. I hate how sharp those are at the bicones. So I'm going to tie off at this Firepolish bead right here. Wow, we just had just enough thread too. 1 and 2 knots and pull tight. Alright, we are good to go. So I'm just going to run through some beads, pull my knot inside, and we are good. Cut your thread off. And there you have it. A beautiful oval lace bracelet. Is this not gorgeous? I love it. Love these colors. Super sparkly too. So there you go. There's our oval lace bracelet. Well guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and you had fun. And you have fun making these. Gosh, you can do so many things with this component. It's endless. But there is my oval lace bracelet, guys. I want to wish you guys a good week, and I will see you soon on the next video. Bye, everyone.